Hey guys, today we're diving into 235 Chet Baker records, all spinning on the regular down in my dad's music basement. Most of them came from a godfather, a super fan of Chet Baker's, who actually knew the guy. Welcome to Copenhagen Vinyl Vault. Alright guys, welcome to my dad's music basement. As you can see, jazz still lives down here guys. Records spinning all the time. So I have dressed up for the occasion, let's go ahead. My godfather lived in Copenhagen, and saying he loved jazz doesn't quite cover it. He was a true super fan, especially of Chet Baker. Chet actually stayed at their place whenever he played in Copenhagen. His collection was legendary, floor-to-ceiling jazz with Chet front and center. After my godfather passed, my godmother kept the music room untouched. But when she passed too, much of the Chet Baker collection was passed down to my father. So today, that sound, that energy, lives on down in my father's music basement. And now we're diving in. Alright guys, let's start out with some limited edition Chet Baker CD collections here. This is from the Pacific Jazz Studio recordings. I will not go into every record because this video otherwise would be 5 hours long. And nobody wants that. Alright, now we have the first shelf of records. Tune Up Live in Paris, Chet's Choice, Chet Baker Quartet Live in Paris, Leaving, live album again, Chet Baker and Crew, Chet and Steve Horben, Candy, I also have this in my collection, great album, Echoes of Enya from 1982, Getson Baker, Chet and Johnny Pace, Touch of Your Lips with a little message from Chet. Kind of funny with that note guys, because I know my godfather had a lot of things in a scrapbook from Chet Baker. Articles about him, other information about him, autographs from him, all sort of stuff in one big scrapbook. He and my godmother also had a great Dane. And of course you can guess the name, it was of course Chet. And every time he and my godmother got a new dog, it was named Chet. They also had a lot of parrots, and one of the parrots' name was Halima, and that was the name of Chet Baker's second wife. And 2 a day again. And that's it for the first shelf guys, let's move on to the second. And Once Upon a Summertime, Stan Meets Gets. Actually I have the Stan Meets Gets in my collection too, with Candy and the album from Steve Horben. And also an album named Chet Baker Live in Tokyo, which all these records were gifted to me by my father. And especially Live in Tokyo was a big wish for me, and I'm so glad I have the record. I listened to that album a lot on YouTube while studying at the university. Every time we had a big exam and had a paper to do, I was listening to that album. I must have listened to that album on YouTube for 200 times or so. So really glad that I have that on record. I think my father also have created a big vinyl collection through the years here. And as you can see on some of the recordings, he also have a giant collection, but not only jazz, also rock and pop, and mostly soul, and also a lot of jazz records, which he also have bought through the years himself. If you want to see his soul collection, drop a comment. I know he has a big Curtis Mayfield collection. I apologize about the peanut before, I just realized it was in the picture. That was 2 shelves guys, now let's put all the records back again. That's better, perfect. I think I need a break before we go to round 2 guys. Let me just put this Dumb and Dumber Blu-ray on the table and see if the cat wants to play with me. Oh, that's cold. And here we have 2 variations of Chet Baker's Big Band and also Chet Baker Sings, which is a classic. Remember guys, some of these albums are also Chet Baker featuring and not his own albums. Yeah, you might ask, how can one man have such a giant jazz collection?
of Chet Baker records. And my father told me a funny story regarding my godfather. Every time my godfather was out shopping or out in the city of Copenhagen, other people would get a bag of candy or buy some clothes or something like that. But he would always get a record. Every time he would get a record instead. And that's how you do it, guys. That's how you grow your collection bigger. This must be some kind of single or something like that. Interesting. There's a lot of them I can see in the collection here. The funny thing of my godfather's collection, record collection, was that it was 90% jazz records. Of course, he had a soft spot for Chet Baker, but he also had a big passion for other artists like Miles Davis, Stan Getz, Gary Mulligan, you name it. He had a huge collection. As I mentioned earlier, it is a lot of years ago that he died. But I often think of it could be funny if he was alive and able to sit down with me and my father in the music room he had, listening to jazz vinyl. My father's also a huge jazz fan, and I'm also interested in jazz. So it could be a common interest. But I'm just glad I have that interest with my father, who I can share it with. That means a lot to me. Now, what the heck is Burt Reynolds doing here? I love that guy in Boogie Nights, by the way. Interesting. And Elvis Costello also. I know Elvis Costello is a huge Chet Baker fan as well. Maybe he's on the record. Yep, there's the cool cat. Don't know if you can see it, guys. Let me just check out real quick that Burt Reynolds soundtrack from the movie Sharky's Machine. Okay, it's My Funny Valentine, which is on the soundtrack list here. That's it for the first shelf, you guys. And let's put the records back where we found them, guys. And there's another shelf over here from my dad's personal collection. All of the 235 vinyls is of course his now and his collection. Whoops, that's the wrong Baker, but also a part of his collection. Yeah, my dad also got a lot of CDs with Chet Baker, a lot of CDs, as you can see here. Yeah, the woman in the picture in the background, guys, that's my grandmother. And no, guys, that's not my grandfather underneath, that's Clint Eastwood. A lot of these photographs was taken by Gorm Valentin, a Danish photographer and also a huge jazz fan. As mentioned earlier, he has a lot of jazz records, my father. He has Gary Mulligan here, he has Bjarne Rostvold here, he has Sonny Rollins. They are all here, guys, all the giants. Miles Davis. He has a lot of stuff, you guys. He has a very, very large collection of Stan Getz. And here we have the Miles Davis Chronicle original press, super rare. The cat doesn't like it. She has always been more of a Baker fan. This trumpet belonged to my godfather. Chet probably played it too. My dad inherited this trumpet, and I was actually using it when I was taking trumpet lessons when I was 18 years old. But that phase didn't last long, only 2 years. But the horn is still a part of the story.
He asked if I was in the room, and I said, "Yeah, Bird, I'm here." And he asked me to come up, and we played 2 tunes together. And at the end of that, he's announced over the microphone that the audition was over, and that he was going to hire me, and he thanked everyone for coming, and well, that was it. And when he went back to New York, he told Dizzy and Miles and I guess Lee Morgan and all those cats, you cats better look out. He says, there's a little white cat out in California is going to eat you up.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you like videos like this, feel free to subscribe. And remember to keep your head up.